My name is Jonathan Stancill, and I'm from Starkville, Mississippi, and I graduated in the MSMS class of 2025, and I'll be studying aerospace at Georgia Tech. So the MCAW is the acronym I came up for my ISEF project, and it stands for a Magnetically Compounding Accelerator for Watercraft, which I partially did because, when you can make an acronym, it's a big buzzword, and I was trying to get some points with that. But it's also because that was kind of the best way I could think of to describe it, because it's essentially taking advantage of the interactions between electromagnetic fields to induce a force in the water, and I use that to create thrust without actually having any moving parts. And so I can make it fully electric powered, and then it's kind of better for the environment in two ways with carbon emissions because it's an electric system instead of like burning fossil fuels like gas or diesel. And it's also a lot quieter, so you don't get that noise pollution. Those are the kind of the two benefits that I was able to create with my project. My project was kind of inspired because I ended up in the science fair class at MSMS, and I was like, well, I need to think of something to do because although I signed up for it accidentally, once I found out what it was, I was like, oh, this is really cool, it's something I want to do. And I kind of came across this article about how there's a lot of noise pollution in marine environments, and it's a bigger problem than people realize. And I grew up on the water, like fishing, wakeboarding, stuff like that, and I was like, well, this is something that I care about and that is an issue that needs to be solved, so it'll kind of give me that passion to actually work towards it and really try to find a good solution. And so from there I just started looking at a bunch of research papers. I was reading stuff like from 1997, like I was digging deep to try to find stuff, and eventually I kind of pulled all my findings and I was like, okay, here's this idea I have, let's go run with it and see what happens. I was kind of winging it the whole time. It really was just like a passion-powered project. It wasn't like I was super finessed and technical with everything I did, and I also didn't have access to these super fancy labs and all this crazy equipment. I didn't have like a team of PhD level educated people working with me to try to get this done. It was just kind of me in my garage and dorm room messing around with this, hoping it worked, and it did. And I think that's just like a really cool thing that happens is, you don't have to have the top of the line equipment and all that stuff. If you really want it to happen and you just like keep working at it, eventually it will happen. But I think the biggest thing that helped me is the people who are at MSMS, because I had friends that thought my project was cool, and they'd see something and be like, Jonathan, what do you think about this for the project? Like, what do you think it would do? And I'd be like, that's a really good idea. Let me like kind of run through that, see what happens. I had teachers here who also had interest in it, like Ms. Lavage, Mr. Green. They both knew about my project and they were kind of supporting me with it, and that was really helpful. And so it was nice to have like a good group of people that were going to make sure you were doing the right thing and giving you support, because it doesn't always work the first time. You're going to get discouraged, but the people here are really great. And also, one thing I've kind of noticed just about being at MSMS, it doesn't really have anything to do with the project, is you learn how to talk while you're here. Like before I came to MSMS, I was very quiet, very soft-spoken. I couldn't have done this interview right here, and I also could not have presented my project. But just being at MSMS, you learn how to talk to people. And so that was definitely a big advantage I picked up. The Hopkins APL internship is a partnership between the APL at Johns Hopkins and the US government. And specifically what I would be doing is working with a subsection of APL that's partnered specifically with the Navy. And they haven't told me exactly what I'd be doing because it's kind of confidential because they are working with the US government. But based off of what my project was focused on and a little bit of what they have told me, it'd be something to do with experimental propulsion to be used on naval ships. I really think part of it is that I'm a younger person who is doing research, and they kind of see like potential in that because it gets fresh ideas in. Because a lot of people who do this research, if like they're master's students or postdocs, stuff like that, and so definitely pulling in like a younger person, probably fresh ideas. But I think it's also because there's not a ton of people that do the research in like marine engineering and stuff like that, because it's kind of just not something that is as publicly broadcasted that we need research in. Like everyone knows we need new planes, new cars, stuff like that, but nobody's ever like, man, they really got to work on these boats. And so I think it's partly helped by that is the fact that I was actually doing research in something that they already had going on at APL, and it's kind of, they're already close enough, it'd be really easy for them to kind of mesh those two together. I'm pretty excited about the fact that they know what they're doing, because it'd be quite a stretch to say that I knew what I was doing 100% with my as good as my MSMS education was, there were some really advanced topics I was just kind of having to tackle. And I was definitely winging it a little bit. A lot of YouTube University to help me out. And so I think being able to go there and talk with a bunch of experts and get all these like fresh ideas coming in would be really awesome. I would say it's like having the passion and then just continuing to do stuff even if it's like not working right off the bat. Because I mean, I went to ISEF last year, and I mean, no special judges like looked at my poster. A lot of the judges that came by just kind of looked at it and they like nodded along and moved on. I didn't like win any awards, but I had that passion for it and it was something I really liked. And I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be at ISEF. I was at ISEF because I wanted to be doing the project. And so it's kind of like, if you just keep that passion going and you keep doing something, even if you may not know like, oh, what's the best step forward, even if you take like a step sideways, as long as you just keep going, then it's really hard to not eventually bumble your way into an opportunity if you just like keep going at it.